got what you want, I got what you need. My heart on my sleeve, watch me bleed. I break out. Dream real as a team, my team ill in the fiends, and you ain't really.
Welcome to the SlamCast. Your host, me, Malik. We've got Murph with us and a special guest, Murph, a very special guest.
That's right. Cam, what's up, man? How's Slamball been going out there in Vegas? How's training been going? What's been going on with you, man?
Man, everything's been good. Honestly, just been a blessing and an honor to be a part of this, the revamp of Slamball. Things are going a lot better than I thought it would. Not saying that it was going to be bad, but like there's some things that I'm doing that I would have never guessed that I'd be doing.
Absolutely.
Right.
And what'd you expect? I mean, since you brought it up, like what'd you expect before getting there, and then kind of talk about how that's changed and all that good stuff.
So I've been watching Slamball since I was a kid. Like I kind of expected something similar to that, like the same setup and everything, but like they've really ramped it up as far as like like just the court and like the different safety mechanics that they have us go through, and just like it's a lot more like serious. I feel like they're really trying to take that next step forward to like make Slamball like a prominent sport, in the sports world.
Absolutely. And they obviously linked up with ESPN for 2 years, so it's serious. You know that they're going to be supporting you guys. What's that feel like, man? When you saw ESPN tag along, I mean, what's that like?
I'm not going to lie. Like, when I saw ESPN, I was like, all right, like, I'm thinking in my head, like, all right, what flips and plays can I put together? Because, like, I'm trying to be on the highlights like, every week.
Top 10, baby.
ESPN going to be my best friend. They're going to get tired.
Absolutely. Man, I can only imagine. And, I mean, you're competing with baseball, axe throwing, you know what I'm saying, cornhole.
Yeah,
so,
right.
I expect to see 3 or 4 plays from Slamball.
Oh, man, at least.
It's coming out during the perfect time of the summer as well. Like, it's a very dry time in the sports world.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, like they really thought this out.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
No, absolutely. Gordon did a good job with it. I feel like he really planned it perfectly.
Yes.
Man, and so it's kind of funny because we posted a couple of them, but our friends and supporters, they'll send us videos of man, is this really axe throwing on TV right now? And we obviously agree that there's no better entertainment right now. I mean, baseball's cool, we respect the sport, but at the same time, it's nothing like what you guys are going to put on.
Man, it's just a whole nother level, it's just kind of, I feel like unheard of, like who like jumping off of trampolines and dribbling the basketball and then at the same time taking hits, it's
right. And the other day you were saying, just during our initial call, that you wouldn't be doing flips, but I just saw some videos of you flipping around out there.
Yeah.
So man. What changed? What happened?
that switch. So I thought I would be doing flips, but not like the way I'm doing it.
Certainly.
Yeah, I think I sent you guys one of the videos. I did bounce down, transferred over the island, and then before I hit the scores bed, I threw the ball up, back caught it, went off that top transfer one, through the legs. So I'm like, that's a legal move. It's like I've been putting a lot of thought into it. I'm like, man, if I can just innovate the game and kind of put my own flavor and flair on it, so I was like, that's the best way I know how to incorporate my flipping.
Absolutely. And I feel like those kinds of things, if you can implement those in the games, that is what, everyone loved about people like Stan Fletcher. I mean, he was he was one of the first guys that were doing some of those new moves that really caught your attention when everyone's just bouncing and jumping and dunking. He's doing all this crazy stuff, ooping it off the backboard. I mean, those are the kinds of things that make the top 10.
Yeah, man, that's like the exact definition of an innovator. I'm trying to be in that same category. I want to help reinvent the game. I want to bring my own style. I just want to have fun with it too, but I also want to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And right. Murph mentioned Tony Hawk. I mean, he was one of those guys, and I'll let you get into it, Murph, but
absolutely.
Yep.
That helped.
Right on. Cool. Right, yeah, so like Malik was saying, Stan Fletcher was like the Tony Hawk of skateboarding, one of those innovators out there that really, started doing certain tricks, but now kids at like 4 years old are starting to learn those. And what we're seeing now with slam ball, I feel like, hey, these guys are doing, you guys, I should say, are really just doing like all these crazy tricks and stuff, like really flying through the air and, going off of some of that stuff that was already innovated previously. Like, where do you see like this game might be going in the future? And like, what do you see out there on the court with these players? Like, are people actually going to be doing some of these acrobatics that we're seeing in practice or in the game?
So there's plans to implement flipping into the game. Mace really wants it. He wants that. He's green lighting it. So right now we're just trying to make sure to focus on execution. We want to make sure we got the foundation fundamentals down before we start adding that little flair and all the tricks and flips and stuff. So we just want to make sure we got a good, strong foundation of plays and how things are going to work safety wise. So it's definitely a plan too, but just right now they're like, let's just take it slow.
Absolutely, you got to have safety first.
What is the safety aspect that they've been implementing? Just curiously, because obviously it looks dangerous as hell for you guys out there.
Yeah, so I mean, a really big thing with them is being able to bail out. Like, you might commit to a jump, but another guy might be coming in that same tramp, and you guys are about to boom. Like, you got to know, all right, like I need to do a kill bounce real quick, or I need to fall really quick so he can go, or it's just they make sure to really emphasize safety, and like some things are gonna not go the way you want it to, so you're gonna have to do something to make sure you're safe.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah, and so, as far as the gear that you're gonna wear. The first year of Slamball, they didn't wear much. Then you saw that next year they were wearing all the gear. They had the helmet, if you will, the soft helmet. They had elbow pads, knee pads. Like, what kind of gear are you guys going to be wearing out there?
So they gave us, so we got a nice, like, some chest armor. We got, like, actual leggings with armor in them. We have elbow and knee pads, and then we have a helmet.
Good deal. Good deal.
Really looking out for us. So.
No, for sure. Because ultimately, if you're not out there, the same product's not on the court, and we need you to be out there.
Right, yeah, that extra body armor gave me a little confidence. I'm not going to hold you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, that's all good. So we'll jump into a couple of questions here. What was life like before Slamball? I know that you caught my attention specifically. I saw you dunking for the Pacers, man. That's always a highlight of the game. What was it? Right around a little bit into the fourth quarter, get everybody amped up. Yeah. Sometimes at halftime, man. So tell us a little bit about, from ISU to the Pacers and stuff like that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. So I guess we'll start with Indiana State. I was there running track. Then just school just really wasn't for me, I'm gonna say. So I ended up dropping out. Then I was a bartender downtown Indianapolis at Tiki Bob's.
Good deal.
My friend, Nate, a.k.a. Windmill, he was working security at Taps and Dogs. And so, like, he was like, hey, come try out. This is the like what we're doing. And I'm like, oh, I could do that. Like, I'm just like, oh, yeah, I'm an athlete. I got that.
For sure.
Comes tryout time. Rude awakening. I'm thinking, I'm finna go in here and I do all this crazy stuff I'm doing now. Not at all. I couldn't even get to the rim. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yep.
But I'm always like one to like really look for a challenge. Like, I love challenges, and this was the next team that I needed to challenge myself. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna keep this ball rolling, see where this goes. So I started practicing, and then they eventually just kind of incorporated me into practices here and there because they're like, you listen well, like you catch on quick, showed up on time, was always super polite, and then like it got to the point where I bought my own equipment and I was practicing as much as I could. Like,
dedicated.
Yeah, I was addicted. I was hooked. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love it. So come next year, I get a text, hey, you wanna be on the team? Yeah.
Man.
So that was that.
Absolutely. And so, did Slamball find you, or did you reach out? We were very curious about that aspect of it, because I know that I would never use the term throwing it together, but because it's coming back, there's always an interesting startup period. where, people seek you, you seek them, you see them as valuable, and they also seek you thinking you're valuable. So, what was that process like?
So I was in Texas doing some dunk shows with named DJ Gregory Thomas. Shout out to him. I was doing
Absolutely.
dunk shows with him in Houston and Dallas, and then I ended up getting a call from one of the guys who taught me. Like when I didn't make it to the Pacers, he kind of took me under his wing. His name's Brandon Sarver, aka Claus Dog. Shout out to him. And then out of nowhere, something about Slamball came up, and I'm like, yeah, like I always wanted to do Slamball as a kid. Like he was like, yeah, they're vamping it up. Like I got a guy that you can get in contact with. And I'm like, all right, great. Hit him up. He didn't really hit me back, so I'm like, okay. So I literally did like a headhunt basically. Like I started looking through different players. And I was like, all right, this guy, and I look him up on Instagram. All right, I got him. Reach out to him and show him some videos, and just it eventually got hooked. Rob got a hold of it. Fletch saw it, and it was a wrap after that. Now I'm here.
Absolutely.
Right
And congratulations, man.
Yeah, for real.
Such a blessing. I'm not gonna hold you.
Absolutely. And have you seen some of these comments on the Slamball official posts? Like people that are like, "Ew, I'm next. Like, hit me up." Like, have you seen those?
I have. I've got a couple of my DMs too. I'm like, you got a little growing to do.
You don't know what it takes.
Coming to real quick, and I'm like,
Yeah, literally growing to do.
right, early there.
Absolutely. No, that's all good. And so, moving on, as you've been there, we talked about this a little bit in that initial call. Like, you've never been to Vegas, so since it started, like what's been that experience? I mean, it's Vegas, baby. Like, I know you're there, and it's kind of funny because most people spend 72 hours there, and you've been there for a couple of weeks. So tell us about that, man.
They set you up in this house with the pool and everything. Like they're taking care of you out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it right there.
Shout out to Pools, baby.
Welcome to the Mob House.
Yes,
Right.
sir. The
So
Schmob
it's the Mob
House.
House. So
Mob House.
like, is the entire team like living there with you too?
The whole squad here.
Dang.
Oh, wow. That's dope.
That's smooth.
Yep.
That's really dope.
Y'all could have a reality TV show, but yeah, like what's that been like? I know you guys are trying to build camaraderie, and rather quickly, honestly. In other professional sports, sometimes they spend 365 days, trying to build that camaraderie, whether it's communicating all the time or then actually being together. What's that been like? And
Started that when I first got here. My thing was like, it's called love. Like, I kind of see the big picture with Slamball. Like, this is the revamp year, so I want everybody to be as good as they can before the lights come on. So like, I already have that Tramp experience, so I'm like, I'm here helping people. Like, anybody ask me a question, I'm on it. Like, I'm down to teach anybody anything. Like, because I want everybody to grow. I want the whole sport to grow. As far as like camaraderie, like, actually, like, you remember earlier I was saying I was cooking. I actually like cooked for the whole house, my whole mom.
Dang it. Just
What'd you cook?
Stuff,
yeah, what was on the menu, man?
I made some
Yeah,
fried chicken. And then my girl helped me out in the kitchen. She's doing her thing. So
Yes, sir.
Back.
All right.
Yeah. So I always try to do all
That's all good. Absolutely. And I know you mentioned like going on ATVs and stuff like that, like just taking the team. I really, based on our discussion, I really see you as, one of the cornerstones simply because of your mindset. Not everyone has that mindset, and, it can be a little selfish, and understandably so. You have to, at the end of the day, you have to look out for yourself, but ultimately the people that are cornerstones are the ones that can think outside of that, still perform well, but also be thinking of others. So, have you guys been up to anything else? Like, are you guys hitting the strip at all? Like, you guys pretty stay locked in?
So, I mean, we're pretty locked in, but like, we might get a day off here too. And like, we might go to the strip, walk around, check out, I think it's Fremont. Check
Yes,
that
sir.
out. My occasionally, like, we went to a pool party once just as a team, just to get out and see Vegas. So we haven't been going crazy like you would think, but like we've experienced Vegas.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
everybody's out there advocating for each other, keeping tabs on it, making sure everybody's on the same page. So I gotta ask you, Coach Kirsch, fellow Hoosier, legendary mob boss. You know what I mean? How's he been? Right? Like,
The schmob.
yeah.
It's
What's
so
been going on with
cool,
him? How's that been going?
It's actually like really cool being on the mob team with him. Like
Oh,
we have been
I
talking.
can only
Like,
imagine.
he was one of the guys who like was really on my page. Like once he found out about me, like he would like it, he'd comment,
Big on social media.
DMs, like he was like on it. So like for me to be drafted to him and like, I'm not gonna lie, I was watching some Slamball stuff on YouTube, and they mentioned, him being at Ball State and stuff. I'm like, dude, no way. And so like I was like, let me find out. So I hit him up, and he's like, yeah. So I thought it's really cool having somebody who's like also from Indiana that gets it. And then it's my coach on top of that too. It's like, oh man, like I couldn't ask for a better coach. I couldn't ask for a better team. I'm super content.
Absolutely. He's got some wins under his belt for sure.
Got a few wins under his belt.
Yeah. Yeah, no
game.
It's funny you mentioned watching YouTube videos because like I remember, so I'm a Miami Heat fan. I'm a Pacers fan, of course, but like I'm a Miami Heat fan, and when they were playing the playoffs, we almost missed a game or two, literally just watching Slamball videos from the past. Like we were like, yo, isn't there a Heat game on right now? And coming from me, like I'm watching every minute of every Heat game. So for that to be a thing, that just shows how much more entertaining it can be. It's bigger, it's better than a pick and roll offense all game, trying to attack the weaknesses. And obviously there's a strategy and a beauty to that, but there's just something different about Slamball.
Yeah, man, it's definitely unique. It's bold. It's innovative. Like it checks a lot of boxes. To be honest, I'm not gonna hold you.
For sure, for sure,
Yeah.
For sure.
You get your paintbrush out there as an artist, and you can find different ways to go about doing things.
Yeah, this was a no-brainer. I had to be a part of this somehow, some way.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Are there any like old school players? So like obviously we talked about Stan Fletcher, one of the GOATs, but like what are some other players that you saw? Was it, Sean Jackson or people like that? Like who else did you see that were just like tearing it up that you were like, yo, I would model my game after him and then add a little twist to it?
So like Noah Ballou, first off, dog. Shooter.
Yes.
Man, he gets to the trench, like he checks a lot of boxes. We got Jelani. Straight beast on defense. Like I'm trying to model my defense off Jelani. He's just out there catching bodies.
For sure. For sure.
Got Kettlebird.
Yes, sir.
Down.
Yes, sir.
You got Cornbread.
Yes, sir.
For Jelani. Sean Inches Jackson. That's a must.
Man, the thing I liked about Sean was just like his ability to score. I mean, he's one of the smaller guys. This man, I mean, he had the legendary windmill, the double windmill. He just found a way to score. And this man, it looked like he was getting beat up all game, and he was still coming at you.
Not to mention that hit he put on George Bird, too.
Honey Badger, I ain't gonna hold you. It's like,
yes.
Yeah.
He's not stopping.
Yeah. Right. It's like, a smaller guy, but damn, sees that bigger player, and he's like, I'm not stopping. I'm going for it.
Dude, he shoulder checked like a 280 guy.
Bro.
Yeah, George Bird. Yeah, and that big
For sure. It was Bird. It was Bird.
It was George Bird. Exactly.
Man. And that.
One of Bird's sons is actually my teammate.
Two of them. Oh, okay. Two of them in the league, but I didn't know one was. Oh, yes. Absolutely.
We got
and how are they? How are they developing, man? Do you see flashes of that Bird mentality?
I call him Little Bird, but Little Bird's a dog, man. I ain't gonna hold you. He's
for sure
passionate. He's got all sorts of fire in him. Like I love it. Like he's just the whole team that way. To be honest, like
yes, sir.
Coach Kurtz knows.
So with the way the scrimmages have been going too, I gotta ask, like, are you seeing like some big ass players out there that like could be putting down the hits, like linebackers in football possibly that transferred over? Or like some of these people like a little bit bigger than you might have expected, or like you think you can still put the hits on them? Like what does that look like?
I mean, some of these players I look at, I'm like, oh, you gonna do some damage. You gonna really be on ESPN on somebody's highlight laying somebody out.
Yeah.
And there's like some guys I've seen like report for, and I'm like, huh, okay. But that all just comes down with, like, you know, they're not comfortable with the tramps yet, you know, just all that type of stuff. So once they implement that and get comfortable with the sport as a whole, like, it's gonna be a whole nother story. I already know. So I respect
Absolutely.
I respect everybody. You know, I always just make sure to, you know, just be humble about it.
Yes. And, you know, everybody's got this learning curve. You know what I'm saying? It was so long ago that Slamball was mainstream. So it's like there's nobody who really has Slamball experience. So at the end of the day, it's all about who learns and who grows the quickest. You know what I'm saying? We kind of talked about the offense versus the defense. You know, personally, I think it's a little bit easier to jump into a trampoline and kind of attack. You know, I was a wide receiver, so I always think it's a little bit easier to play that receiver position, know what you're going to do. Whereas the defense, right? Like, everyone has their own learning curve, but like to have to anticipate, to read the defense, and then to be a stopper, I feel like as those guys grow, you're going to see more and more plays in the top 10, for example, simply because they're now getting more comfortable. And, I mean, when you have a 6'9" guy, you can kind of just be in the right place at the right time, whether you're good at jumping or not.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
It's all mentality at that point. You gotta go. I'm not gonna hold you. You gotta go.
Exactly.
Do it
Exactly.
100%. Anything less,
Yes, sir.
hurt. Or you gonna
Yes,
do
sir.
crazy.
Yes,
So
sir.
I got a question for you. So I just want to ask: have you been throwing like the word slam around a little bit more than usual? You know what I mean? Just like, hey, I'm slamming this chicken right now. I'm
about to slam this beer.
Hey, yo.
Pause.
You know what I'm saying? Because I certainly have.
I personally haven't been throwing slam around, but
Nah.
I'm a slam fan for sure.
Yo.
You're gonna see him on
No.
ESPN. You're gonna see
Hey.
him slam.
Just
No
amongst your
doubt.
teammates in the mob house, you're not just like, yo, go slam that real quick.
Hey, yo.
No doubt. Bet you won't slam that whole beer. No doubt.
Right. Close the door. No.
Hey,
Hey,
yo.
facts. Absolutely. But no, like, so when it comes to Slamball, like, I know when we watch some of those videos from the past, we kind of chuckle because, like, some of those halftime shows, they talked about, you know, the other jobs that Slamball athletes had while they were, you know, performing. Is Slamball, in the league, you know, is Slamball sustainable in and of itself? Or do you feel like, or let me put it this way, do you feel like doing only Slamball can be a career? Or do you feel like you'll be supplementing that with media appearances and sponsorships and things like that?
Well, realistically, if Slamball was a year-round sport, absolutely, I think it would very much pay the bills and then some.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, just, I mean, with the drive that I have, you know, you can't rely on one source of income. You know, you gotta have multiple. So, you know, I'd always be looking to, you know, broaden my horizon on better opportunities and, you know, just see what else is out there as well.
For sure. And do you see them expanding the season and having more, you know, maybe they play on Tuesday and Thursday nights and kind of fill in some of that time that people are missing football or things like that? Do you see that happening as well?
Yeah, like
Absolutely,
having additional weeks in the season. Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I don't know about this season, but definitely next season.
Right.
I'm sure they'll be wanting to kind of negotiate and get it out there a little more, and, you know, have some more appearances on television. You know, I definitely see that.
Absolutely.
Right on.
And you know, one of the things that Murph and I were talking about and breaking down is, you know, everyone's kind of putting out their own content on social media. You know, everyone's got their page booming and they're putting out these dunks and, you know, some of these blocks, obviously from the stoppers, for example. You know, who are some of those athletes that you've seen that you're like, yo, despite how I want to see my team win, you guys are going to be good, or this player is going to be good?
I can't speak on the teams. I haven't seen the team work as a unit, but specifically player-wise, guy on the buzzsaw named Mike. We were actually in the same house when it was just Super 24, and he's really shaping up to be like a very well-rounded player, and like I could see him definitely exceeding in the sport and like making it his own kind of thing. Like kind of like people will know who he is within Slamball. I feel like him,
For sure.
Bryce, number 1 overall pick, just complete monster. I can see him like really, really kind of stepping it up here in the next couple of weeks. Tony Crosby, I really like how he's been shaping up. We've actually done a couple videos together, so like I definitely see his potential and how comfortable he is on the tramps, and like really excited to see how he shapes up toward the end of the year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's a beast, man. I mean, he kind of has that Sean Jackson-esque vibe to him. You know what I'm saying? Just dumb athletic, super agile. And then obviously he's a handler, and in our eyes, the handler kind of runs the floor. But ultimately, it's kind of like a point guard. If your point guard can dunk and score, then that's even better.
Yeah. Another one. Actually, 2 more. I got Debo.
Yep.
And we got Amir. Now,
Yep.
Amir is just like tank 6. I'm gonna say 6'8".
Man.
Like straight muscle. Like he gives me like Megatron vibes almost. Like
Okay.
Okay.
big, like built like a robot. Like he's like a Decepticon built. Like
Yes.
I'm like,
So he's a villain. Yeah.
He's a gunner and stopper, so he can play both, and he can still take the ball because he comes from a basketball background. Like he's in some of the dunk stuff for Venice Beach and all that stuff. Like he definitely knows what to do with the ball. So like I'm like, when he gets comfortable on those tramps, we gonna have some problems, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you'll be coming up with solutions, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Got to.
That.
And for the folks who don't know, and obviously, Cam, I'll let you speak on it, but that Super 24 were the initial group of guys who were there early, training early, and ultimately will be kind of the face of Slamball going forward. So if you could kind of speak to that process and what that was like. And I know, based on how we've spoken, I know you're appreciative of that opportunity, but if you could kind of speak to that and kind of tell people, what that was like.
Yeah, so it's basically like a very hand-selected group of individuals. Like they actually spent time and like under a microscope, like kind of like really went into detail about each individual and like really thought about it and like had like a round table meeting on some Godfather stuff. Like they really put some time into this. So like
mob style.
Yeah, mob style. Only way to do it. But yeah, they really did the research, and it shows. It definitely shows, and it's like just being a part of that is actually, like I said, a huge honor. Like it's a big deal. So I'm here to work.
Absolutely. And so they had you guys in a couple of houses. Is that right?
Yeah. So it was a couple houses. They didn't have like one big house and like 24 people. It was like I think like 4 or 5 different houses, and you had like X amount of rooms and like
right
5 people be in each one. However the math.
And so
on that.
And so you're going to have like a little bit of even you have your teammates, of course, but then you're going to have like a little bit of a bond with those guys, whether they're on your team or not, right?
Yeah. So like some of the guys from the Super 24, like, I still keep up with them. Like probably tomorrow, 4th of July, we might do something. So, at the
That's
end
cool.
Of the day,
God bless America. Yeah.
At the end of the day, Slamball, we're all just one big family. We're all brothers. At least that's how I see it. So, I'm always down to be around and help and hang out. So, it's all
absolutely.
Love. It's all love with me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So there's this elephant in the room, in my eyes, as far as the coaches go. You've got Coach Carter, man. What's it like meeting the real Coach Carter? Like, he's not shutting down any gyms, right? Like, he hasn't closed any gyms on you. You guys getting your grades up? Like,
I'm happy ain't no grades involved. I ain't trying to do no push-ups. I ain't trying to do none of that.
Yes, sir.
But man, Coach Carter's a great guy. A lot of enthusiasm. He's very enthusiastic. Great personality, super funny in my eyes. Like I just love he goes about life, to be honest. It's super wise, man. He is so wise. He'll say some stuff that'll make you just go like, dang, all right, like for real.
Sit back and reflect.
I wasn't.
And I'm like, dang, all right, yeah, like just click like that, and it's just man. So super inspiring. He's super inspirational.
Absolutely, man. That's got to be cool. I mean, I can't even imagine. Like, we've all seen the movie. We all understand the principles and what's meant to be taken from that. But I just think it's super dope that he's, so involved. Like, he's not just a spectator. He's not just a source of information or guidance. Like, he is very involved. He's got experience in the game. But no, I think that's super cool.
Yeah, man. He's definitely in the trenches with it. Like, he's putting in his work as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
And you kind of mentioned it earlier, and I wanted to come back to it, but you come from a gymnast background. You have that background with the Pacers. Like, I saw the breakdown was something like 60 to 70% of players come from a basketball background. They're somewhere between 20 and 25% from football. How important is that background and how that goes into your position and your mindset?
As far as the Pacers, that is what makes me shine. Honestly, without that, I don't think I'd have been in the Super 24. That just really set a very strong foundation for me. Those 2 years with the Pacers, like, them really, taking the time to, like, really invest in me as an individual and to, kind of mold me and craft me into who I am today. Like, I'm forever appreciative of them. They just love that group of people. And
yes, sir.
I just wouldn't be here without it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, sir. Shout out to the Pacers too, though.
Man, for real, you already know. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But and for some, they see football and some of those DBs. Like, I remember looking back, there were linebackers, and you see those as stoppers or handlers, and they were more of those enforcers. I think that those guys can really have that.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, and I can hear you. Okay.
You're good. And bouncing off of that, how helpful is it to have some of those former players be coaches? And it seems like the coaches are very, very involved with, all the players, despite the team that they're leading. We talked about Kirsch, and he likes other players' posts and comments. I know Fletch is always commenting and liking people's posts. Like, how important is it that those former players are so involved and able to give guidance?
Man, honestly, I don't think Slamball would be Slamball that it is now without them. To be honest, like there's no way that we would be at the level that we're performing at just for right now without them. I feel like it's very crucial that we have them. Like they bring a lot of knowledge. It's just something that has to be respected.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they were already in the trenches,
Yeah, they were in the trenches.
Learning all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's mad respect right there. Like, you don't go into battle without somebody that knows about the war. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's
for sure. I thought that was really cool, and I assume, obviously an assumption, I assume it wasn't too tough to get those guys to come back. I mean, they were some of the, TA and all those guys, like, though they were some of those standout athletes and performers. So, in bringing them back, I'm sure it was just a shake of hands. It was just a Instagram DM. They were just ready. I mean, you could see the passion. They love it. So now being a part of it, I see TA's posts, like, he's just super appreciative of having that opportunity. So.
Yeah, like I'm sure just as easy as it was for them to get me, I'm sure it was probably like, what? Oh yeah, bring it. Let's go.
For sure. For sure.
Sure take much.
For sure. And now that
I have for the game, like yeah.
Yes, sir. And in bringing that up, have you seen his son, jump around a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's looking like Eagle Jr. I'm not gonna hold you. He's looking good. He's very shifty. I love the way he uses the trampoline. I like the way that he kind of uses the bounce down. He's just. I think he's gonna be one of the more like well-rounded players. Like gonna be able to do everything.
Certainly.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Malik, you had a fucking good question. I remember you talking about before the call.
Are you you talking about? Oh, that was my Coach Carter. My Coach Carter input.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I was making sure he wasn't shutting down the gyms.
Right. So,
Doors locked.
right. Actually, I got a question. So, as far as like, I guess just like payment to players, and you don't got to get into specifics or anything, but I was just curious, like, what are the kind of salaries looking like? You know, not salaries, maybe one-time payments, something like that. Does that differentiate much between players, or is it pretty like even?
Great question.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of like the draft. So depending on how you do, like in the draft, like that kind of determines how you get paid. I won't go into the specific number. The one thing I will say is weekly. You ain't gotta wait bi-weekly. It's lovely.
Yeah.
For what they're definitely throwing out. I will
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If it gets
Slamball right now, I ain't gotta go get no part-time job. None of that.
Yep.
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I think that's, like I said, that's really dope because as we look back, those guys were having to supplement in some way. And obviously some folks had it already or whatever. But no, I think that's really cool to hear because, you know, if you're running low, that next Wednesday is coming back.
Yep.
You don't have to take the night shift to the grocery store.
Early. You don't get it a little early. You might get it Wednesday, Thursday. You know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to Chime.
I'm a little heavy today. What's going on? Oh, that's what's going on. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But Murph, did you have anything else, brother?
Man, I really don't have anything else.
Cool.
Yo, Cam, I mean, otherwise, shit, like, you know, team's shaping out pretty well. You feel like you're going to be going up, you know, with like a nice team against some of these other teams, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are shaping up pretty good.
Yeah, I say to Mob, you good? Come here. Speaking of Lil Bird.
Hey,
Yeah, how we doing?
Hey, Lil Bird.
How we doing? Hey, lean down a little bit. Lean down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What's going on with it?
How we doing? How we doing?
Right.
Hey.
Yes, sir. We were just shouting out your dad, man.
Oh, yeah. We was talking about Pops, man. Yeah, that's a whole nother beast, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, but I'm hearing you got some of those instincts, man. We're looking forward to seeing both you guys out there.
Oh, of course. Hey, apple don't fall far from the tree now. Hey. Yeah.
That's right.
Facts, man. Dog. We got a dog over here, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But no, we appreciate your. Yes, hey, we're looking forward to it. We're gonna be out there on the 21st weekend, opening weekend. So we'll definitely say what's up to you guys. Come out there, get some food, man. Chop it up. But no, Cam, we appreciate your time, man, on the SlamCast. We definitely know you got a lot going on. So any time that you can take to come on here and just tell us about your experience is appreciated.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. And
Yeah.
hey, Little Bird, if he's still over there too, hey, say bye to him.
Right here. Come in. All right.
Hey, there he is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Hey, appreciate you, man, as well. Thanks for popping up.
Man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
Anytime, man.
much.
Yes, sir. Hey, y'all be easy, man. We'll see you guys out there.
Absolutely. Steve.
All right.
safe.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
You live and you learn. On this road, the richest niggas bound to miss a few turns. Don't let the bridges that you cross turn into bridges you burn. You're bound to miss a few turns. Don't let the bridges that you... Fuck it, y'all don't hear me. Look, hey yo, I walk along this long harbor.